obviously I saw it, but I was much more disappointed in how we played. Obviously, our intensity level changed, which I think was the biggest thing that was lacking. In my opinion, there in the first half, and obviously not a great setup the way that is, but I really kind of proud of how our kids handled it, both when it happened and then after the fact, and that's something we talk about all the time, and just about discipline, and I think it carried over. You look at how we are as a team from a penalty standpoint nationally, and it's something we take a lot of pride in. We think that's a big part of who we are as a football team, and we think it helps us. I think it played a big part Saturday.
Yeah, the discipline, especially in the second half. We finished the game with 3 total penalties, and I think they had 13 for over 100 yards, and that played a big role in the game. Got some highlights we're going to see from both the first and the second half, brought to you by Secours, and we'll get an opportunity just to watch those and talk about them as they go on. But from an offensive standpoint, not much in the way of highlights in the first half.
No, really not. We had several good drives started, and for whatever reason, you go back through it and look at what stalled you out, and it's it's a missed block here or there. It's lack of execution, and I think more times than not that's what it was. And and again, I kind of felt like our intensity level wasn't what it needed to be, and which I think plays a big part of that. And but certainly really proud of how they responded in the second half.
And then take us through what changed in the second half from an X's and O's standpoint.
Well, obviously, we hit some big throws there early in the third quarter, which, Darius can tell you, when you have the ability to do that, which we do, it just opened up a lot of things. And, I thought we ran the football pretty well most of the day, and then certainly I think Devin Wynn had a heck of a day. I think there were a lot of people doing some really good blocking for him, but, he breaking tackles, and I think played one of maybe the better games he's played here. And again, just defensively staying after them all day, you take out a few plays and really limited, what they were able to do all day. And, I don't know better, I'd like to punch the last one in there, but really, really happy for our defense the way they came and just slammed the door shut there at the end of the game.
Would it be fair to say that through the first half of the spring season that defense has kind of set the tone for this team?
They're playing well. They really are, and which I'm not surprised by that. I mean, we go against each other. We go good on good a lot in practice, and just really pleased with the progress they're making. Watching some guys like Darius. At the end of the day, I tell these seniors, you want seniors to play their best when they're seniors, and he's certainly a great example of that. Playing a lot of people, and again, I think we're only going to get better.
Well, we get a chance to talk with him coming up in the middle segment of our Furman Football Monday. Continue to see the Secours highlights on the screen there as we are visiting with Coach Clay Hendrix here in this first segment. What's your assessment of how Hamp Sisson is playing to this point of the season?
I think Hamp's, probably a lot like a lot of guys on our team. It's just when you play that position, it's a lot more obvious to a lot of people. But, Hamp's leadership has been tremendous for us. He works. He's a great worker at practice. He has a great grasp of what we're trying to do. And I think, he certainly makes us, gives us the ability to be multiple, which is what we want to be, and we just got to continue to work at that part of it.
Seemed a little more intent on the few times that you ran the option on Saturday, or maybe more willing to keep the ball instead of pitching, and that seemed to make a difference in how effective the option game was at times.
Well, that probably largely is what they're giving you. Mm-hmm. And, it's no secret that I think most teams, our defense is kind of the same way. Sometimes they'd rather a non-running quarterback. They'd much rather him carry the football than a running back. So that plays a part. But he certainly has the ability, shown it throughout his career. He can hurt you with his feet. And we'll continue to use that part of our game.
And then as we saw in the second half, all else fails, you got number 0 to hand the ball to and let him go to work.
No question. And a few other guys back there to go with it. So, I think we'll continue to lean on those guys and continue to try to get better in all areas. And again, it goes back just being more consistent in all phases. And, we keep that detail word keeps coming up, and that's just something we're going to continue to work on.
We're getting a look now at the first touchdown by Devin Wynn. Everybody talks about the second one, and for good reason, but that first one was such an individual effort, Coach, as we're seeing it right here. He got hit about the 2-yard line and just kept fighting and falling and reaching to get into the end zone.
Well, he's a powerful guy. I think some people probably don't realize he's as big as he is. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of want to in Devin. So he is a competitor, and he thinks he's going to get in. He kind of thinks he's going to score every time he carries it, which you like a guy like that. We need to continue to get him football.
That's a mindset that usually makes for a very, very good running back, isn't it?
No question, especially when they have some talent to go with it. And he's a total package. He catches the ball really well, and has become a good leader for our football team.
That's the one everybody was talking about, where he planted Karan DeLentz from ETSU at the goal line, steamrolled him for the second touchdown that gave Furman the lead. All right, we are going out to our first break. When we come back, Darius Kearse, Mr. Interception, will join us. He is on the hot seat next as Furman Football Monday, brought to you by Ingalls of Secours, continues in just a moment.
We built Ford Super Duty to be our most capable heavy-duty pickup. Because of this, we gave the all-new 2021 F-150 an available 12-inch touchscreen. Because of this, we built Ranger with a terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Don't miss the chance to get a 2020 F-150 with up to $10,531 in total savings at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Now your doorbell is your dinner bell. A big Bow-Box delivery from Bojangles will feed the whole family. Just tap your app for 8 pieces of chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. It's bow time.
Welcome back to Furman Football Monday, presented by Ingalls and Bon Secours. I'm Dan Scott. Clay Hendrix has stepped off stage for a moment, and we welcome to the hot seat senior defensive back Darius Kearse, the pride of Enterprise, Alabama. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good,
Well, congratulations, on another win, another comeback win, another win with some drama to it. And for you individually, 3 straight games with an interception right now. So you kind of in the zone a little bit, aren't you?
Most definitely. Just been happening, locking in on practice and making sure I'm prepared for what's to come.
Talk about that a little more, because we always hear that you play the way you practice, and it seems to me you're a living example of that. What do you do in practice that allows you to make the plays that you've been making in games?
Well, in practice, the scout team's been going a lot faster than the actual game, and so as you can see as a result, the game's been kind of slowing down for me and everything, and it's just been slowing down.
That's the nature of football now. More offenses are going at a more rapid pace to try to not just catch defenses off guard per se, but to wear you down, try to get more plays, keep you on the field more often. And I think it was Coach who told me prior to the Sanford game that he actually ran the scout team in 2 different versions and ran it at a pace that there's no way that Sanford or anybody else could actually run it in the game.
They ran it. It was a 2 huddle, and they had pretty much ran it in like 3 seconds. Like, you run a play, and then you go to the next one as soon as you get done. And so that pace has been helping us.
You get a little gassed?
Most definitely.
So how much of a reward is it then to be able to take all that hard work and then produce in the game like you've been producing?
It's a big reward. I think the way we've been handling, our situation as far as, with the defense and the offense, whether handling adversity, I think we've been handling it pretty well, so it's a big reward.
You've had your share of adversity, especially in the last 3 weeks. You also had to put your discipline on display this week at Johnson City with what happened going off the field and then keeping your cool as the third quarter and fourth quarter went on. We only had 3 penalties the whole game. They had 13. How much emphasis do the coaches put on discipline day in and day out?
They harp it every day, especially early on before we even started the season. Throughout our training, we were focusing on the details and everything we had to do, and so that just carried over to our preseason and to our actual season.
Are there prices to pay in practice if you don't maintain that discipline?
Oh, most definitely. Got up downs or sprints after practice. So.
And who does those, Coach Bernardi?
Coach Bernardi, you know it.
And you don't want to mess with Coach Bernardi after practice.
Not at all. Not at all.
Weight room is bad enough, right?
Yeah, most.
See, Andre, you've got their attention. No question about it. I think we're going to have some highlights here. This is going back to the VMI game. I think that was your first interception of the season. You got one against Sanford and then one this week. Is there anything particular you're looking for on those plays? Any tendencies you're picking up from either the receiver as he goes into his alignment or the quarterback? How are you diagnosing what's happening?
Well, at first it comes from film preparation. Certain splits tell you certain routes. Certain tendencies from the quarterback tell you where he's going to go with the ball. And so when you're in coverage, you kind of want to position yourself to make those plays. That way when it comes to you, you just make the play.
And then these last 2 weeks, you've turned into Darius Kearse, the open field runner, after the interception. You look like you want to get a pick six before your career's over.
Oh, most definitely. DBs, we don't get the ball often, so whenever you get a chance, you got to score it. Got to.
And then there's a lot of talk that a lot of guys are on at defensive back because they couldn't catch the ball well enough to be a wide receiver. Obviously, that's not the case for you.
No, sir. I can catch. I got hands. See these?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, you ready to play 5 questions?
Yes, sir.
We are going down Ingalls aisle 5 and playing 5 questions with Darius Kearse, the senior defensive back from Enterprise, Alabama. Question number 1. That would help if I pulled the questions up here, wouldn't it? Question number 1 for you, Darius, is what's your favorite TV show and why?
Favorite TV show? That would have to be an old show. It's called Ed, Edd and Eddy. I like cartoons. They're all about getting to the money, whichever way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and always failing.
and
Because
always-
my oldest daughter was an Ed, Edd and Eddy fan, so I've probably seen every one of those cartoons. You wouldn't have figured that, would you?
Yeah.
I like it. Question 2. What career moment do you wish you had a do-over?
Career moment I had to do over. I would say early my freshman year, whenever I had gotten to my surgeries and everything. I wish I could redo that moment. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3. Which coach would you want beside you in a foxhole?
Ooh, okay. I think I'd take Coach Wright. Let's definitely Coach Wright.
Any particular reason why?
I just feel like he would get the job done, you know. We both kind of connect, so.
I got you. See, I kind of thought you might go with Bernardi again because he's kind of crazy. You know,
He is kind of crazy.
Question number 4. Finish this sentence. My career will be a success if.
I maintain what I'm doing and keep doing what I'm doing.
Simple as that.
Simple.
Question number 5. You're a senior. What advice would you give to your freshman self the day you walked onto campus with the experience you have now looking back?
Get all the help you can. With this school and the demands from football itself, whether it be from the film room or whether it be from the professor, get all the help you can.
Bonus question for you. I didn't put this on the top 5. I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit, but best restaurant in Enterprise, Alabama. No chain restaurant, the place where the locals go.
I would say Cuts. Cuts.
Why is that?
It has pretty much all the food that you need, cold cuts, barbecue, fried chicken, macaroni and
Talking
cheese.
my language here,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Talking my language. Hey, Darius, listen, congratulations on the success so far, both individually and as a team. Still work to be done, though,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
That's Darius Kearse. Stay tuned. We'll come back. Clay Hendrix will rejoin us for the final segment. We'll look ahead to the Chattanooga game as well as the Bon Secours catch of the game from this past weekend at ETSU. All that in a moment from
SPINX chicken tenders aren't just fast and fresh. They're crispier, crunchier, juicier, saucier, spicier, legendary-ier. Oh, so many options. One easy stop. SPINX, making life easier. SPINX drinks aren't just fast and fizzy. They're fruitier, chewier, bolder, creamier, slushier, bigger, refreshing-ier. Oh, so many options. One easy stop. SPINX, making easier.
We are a team. We are a unit. We are a family. No, literally. We are a suburban family of football fans. That's our neighbor. Hi, Bob. And that's the inflatable screen we forgot to properly secure.
Pepsi, made for football. Watch it.
Health. Suddenly, that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
back here in the press box at Furman's Pierce Horton Football Complex overlooking beautiful Paris Mountain across the way. Furman Football Mondays brought to you by Ingalls of Bon Secours. There are the Southern Conference standings with VMI still undefeated at the top, followed by Chattanooga, who we see this week. Furman, the only other 3-win team in the league right now. Samford at 2-2, ETSU 1-1, and then Wofford, Mercer, Western Carolina, and the Citadel bringing up the bottom part of the conference. So, we're going to talk about Chattanooga here in just a moment, but we got to get to our Bon Secours catch of the game first. They were working on the highlights when we got in here because we received them late. But if it is the one I'm hoping it is, we're going to talk about Ryan Miller again, whether it's that highlight or not, and I think it is. This one-handed grab that Miller made reaching behind him, this guy just is showing that he can do it all the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you know, I really didn't see that on the field at the time until I was watching the video later. Didn't realize how good of a catch it was. But no, Ryan continues to show up in a positive way, and you know, actually got him the ball coming out of the backfield a little bit. He's just a big, fast guy that's hard to tackle, and he's certainly a guy that we want to continue to get touches.
We do have a question and some others, I think, coming in. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can leave them in the comments section. We'll get them to Coach Clay Hendrix. Coach, the one that a lot of people are asking about is, did we get an explanation on the roughing the passer call in the second half when it looked like we'd gotten off the field on fourth down, kept their drive alive, they got their final 3 points that way?
Yeah, I got an explanation. You know, I was told that that's why it's called roughing the passer, not roughing the quarterback. It said anybody can be roughed. You know, you can't hit a guy after he even throws a pass. Then I was told that's not what he called. He called a little action after the play. You can see it. He said that's what he called. And so that was my explanation. So, but I was under the impression, again, it doesn't come up very often. I mean, we saw the guy come into the game. They play with those two tailbacks all the time, so we saw something was up. And certainly it was a big play in the game. And I think probably the biggest play was the way our defense responded. You know, we got them that. And I think went 3 plays and a field goal after that. So, no, but yeah, that one caught me a little off guard too.
Well, your defense has responded to virtually every challenge all year to this point, and that was just another example.
Yeah, they really have, and you know, and again, I played really well and continue to get better, and there's a lot of things we need to do better, and we will do, and just really like the way they work and compete, and it'll have a big challenge this week.
All right, let's flip the page and let's move on to Chattanooga, which is coming up this week. Here's a look at the schedule. The Paladins hosting Chattanooga, VMI on the road at Sanford. ETSU will travel to Charleston to take on the Citadel, and Western Carolina is at Mercer. And those are the games. The bye this week is Wofford. First things first, traditionally Senior Day is the last day of the season, but have decided to have it this weekend against Chattanooga.
Yeah, you know what? I want to make sure we honor our seniors in this crazy year. You know, I noticed a lot of things that happened within the basketball season, people missing out on that, and so I just said, hey, there's a great time to do it this week, and so we want to make sure. I think we got 12 guys that they're going to go out as seniors, and we wanted to honor those guys, and thought it was just a great way to do it starting this week.
And we had talked about, I think, way back on the first edition of this show, after the story had come out in the Greenville News, there were those 5 guys particularly that pushed their graduation back so they could play this spring, and it was important for you as a coach and a staff and for the team to play and do what you could to honor them. Well,
true, and you know, we only have one other home game, regular season wise, you know, scheduled, and it'll probably be the last game of the year, and so again, it just was a decision. I just wanted to make sure we had it. We made sure we had that opportunity to honor them, and that's really how we came up with that.
So as we look ahead to Chattanooga, you see the quarterback comparison there between Hamp Sisson and Drayton Arnold. The numbers, more passing yardage, more attempts, more touchdowns. The interceptions, I know, is something that you're working on, but that's the quarterback comparison there. And we talked about Hamp a little earlier. Is the game slowing down for him a little bit?
Oh, I'm sure it is. It slows down, I think, for everybody. But I'm sure it is. That'd be a good question for him. And I still think sometimes people think he's played a lot more than he has, really. You know, now got 4 games under his belt. Their guy, you know, I see the numbers. I don't know if that includes, you know, they did play a game in the fall. And it may not, most people include those stats. I don't know if that includes those or not. You know, only played 2 games where we played 4, and, you know, for the 4th time in 5 weeks, we played somebody that got an open date before they played us. So, you know, I mean, we saw certainly some different stuff out of East Tennessee, and I'm sure we'll see it again this week. So, you know, it'll be a matter of us just having a great week of preparation, and, you know, as always, we'll have to make some adjustments.
About 2 minutes left before we wrap up this edition of Furman Football Monday, brought to you by Ingalls & Bond Secours. When you see Chattanooga on film, what do you see from this team?
Well, I say this, you know, when you see the preseason poll, they got 1 vote for the first place team, and that was me, you know, from the head coaches. I was the one that voted them first. I think they are easily the most talented team in our league, you know, just athletically. I don't think it's even close. I think I counted 32 transfers on the roster this morning. You know, so just a really talented football team. And, again, played 2 games, played Citadel, who's primarily an option team. Had a really good game against Wofford. Didn't play the first week. You know, so, but just talented, well coached. You know, it'll certainly be a big challenge for us.
Some more of the numbers on our tail of the tape. One thing that jumps out to me is they're a team that looks like they like to possess the football.
Well, I think, you know, they're a little bit like us. They like to run the football, but they certainly can throw it, have some really good receivers. You know, and have a couple of different backs that are really good players, and again played. You know, their defensive numbers were really good. You know, had played a couple teams that don't throw it very much, so I think numbers sometimes can be a little bit skewed. But they're just solid, really, in every phase of the game. So we'll have to be at our best.
Before we go, we try to get to the hard-hitting matters here on Furman Football Mondays, and we've had a question submitted that I simply can't ignore. Coach, somebody wants to know, apple or blueberry pie?
Blueberry pie.
Didn't hesitate either.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of a blueberry fan, so that one was
so
easy.
that was a staged question. Somebody who knows you obviously sent that question.
Well, I wouldn't turn down the apple pie either, but if I had a choice, probably don't get the blueberry quite as often. But I'm kind of a blueberry kind of guy, so I that was easy.
I like it. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
I'll remind you before we go that the kickoff has been moved back to noon for television, regional TV via the Next Star package. So that means the radio pregame on ESPN Upstate will begin at 10:30 a.m. here from Paladins Stadium. Noon kick, Furman and Chattanooga, as the Paladins look to win their third game in a row. That'll wrap up this edition of Furman Football Monday, brought to you by Ingalls and Bon Secours. For Coach Clay Hendrix, for our stage manager Ty Osborne, our video production manager Byron Apt and his staff, and all of us at Furman, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you and so long, everybody.